Another how to squat video? What is this, 2016? Of all the instructional videos I've made, I think the squat and how I teach it has changed the most. Working with in-person and online clients has taught me a lot, and it has equipped me with a few pillars of instruction that seem to help most people, regardless of body type, squat style, and experience. I've also come to realize that a lot of people overthink the squat. This is understandable when we look at how much information is available online, and admittedly, it's a problem that I'm sure I contributed to. Hopefully this video highlights the most important parts of the squat and de-emphasizes the less important details. In my opinion, a good squat can be boiled down to three main pillars: balance, range of motion, and back angle. Here's my elevator pitch for what a good squat should look like. Maintain balance throughout the entire rep. Keep your feet flat. Aim for full range of motion with every rep. There should be no drastic changes to your back angle as you stand up. If you can put a check mark next to those three things, you're probably doing all right. Every detail beyond that is just a detail. Hands,
wrists,
high bar, low bar, knees over toes,
hips back,
toes out, knees out, look up, look down, elbows, breathing, belt, wrist strap, knee sleeve, knee wraps. Balance, range of motion, back angle. Let's talk about balance. After working alongside the Barbell Medicine crew as a platform coach, I have learned how powerful this balance cue is. Balance refers to the even distribution of weight throughout your feet. As you descend and stand up, you should remain balanced or heavy throughout your entire foot. Feeling heavy on your heels or heavy on your toes would indicate you are not balanced. If I was to label a squat cue as a master cue, balance would be it. This balance cue is interchangeable with any style of squat. High bar squat, low bar squat, front squat, bodyweight squat, SSB, overhead squat, Zercher squat, dumbbell squat, kettlebell squat, one arm kettlebell squat, pistol squat, narrow stance squat, wide stance squat. Even a Hindu squat where you purposefully go onto your toes, you still need to pay attention to your balance. I give 100% credit to the Barbell Medicine crew for this next piece. Another reason why the balance cue is so powerful is because it puts the lifter in the driver's seat. The lifter is in charge. Every lifter has the ability to feel their own balance as they squat down and stand up. They can feel heavy throughout their full foot, or they can feel the shift in weight towards their heels or their toes, outsides and inside. The lifter doesn't really need to focus on what I would call external cues, rules, or guidelines, such as keep the bar path straight. Your knees should be 1 inch over your toes. Your back angle should be at 45 degrees. Instead, just being aware of balance will give the lifter immediate feedback. Once the lifter feels unbalanced, they can make immediate course corrections to fix their balance without needing a coach to tell them to fix it. Again, the lifter is in control of maintaining and correcting their balance. This cue teaches self-efficacy, a very important concept for new lifters. Paying attention to and correcting their balance on their own frees them from needing to rely heavily on a coach, a piece of wood, a PVC pipe, a wall, a movement tracking app, a video angle from behind, side, oblique, front, above, below, and whatever else people use to overanalyze their squat technique.
Yes, much better.
Try to stay balanced throughout every rep. If you feel your balance shift, correct it. I'm not suggesting that a coach is useless. I coach several people. Sometimes a lifter needs help correcting their balance issues. They might say, I'm always on my toes, how do I fix that? This cue is something that they can bring home with them, something they can internalize and always have it available. I've already made a 10-minute long video about squat depth and I've used up all my jokes, so I'm not going to say too much here. Check that video out, I'll link it up top. Depth is kind of arbitrary. People like to argue about ass to grass versus parallel versus half squats, muscle activation, sports-specific application for varying depths, blah. I would suggest squatting as low as you comfortably can while staying tight and maintaining balance. If squatting to a certain depth forces you to relax in order to reach that range of motion, it's probably too deep. This is especially true if you're trying to maximize the amount of weight you can lift with a barbell. The reality is, Nothing catastrophic will happen if you relax under a bodyweight squat or a light barbell squat. It's just not very efficient when trying to maximize strength performance. So try to stay tight throughout the entire range of motion. I would also suggest trying to replicate the same range of motion with each rep. If you're learning how to shoot a basketball, swing a golf club, or throw a punch, it's in your favor to repeat that technique over and over. Practice consistency. Squatting could be considered a skill, and it should be learned like any other skill. Consistent, repeatable technique. And just so this video includes some sort of depth standard, I would suggest trying to squat low enough so that the crease of your hips drops below the plane at the top of your kneecap. 99% of you watching this are probably trying to squat with a barbell, and since powerlifting is the sport of barbell squatting, hip crease below kneecap is powerlifting standards, and I think that's a good place to start. Back angle refers to the angle of your back. The angle between your back or torso and the ground. When squatting, the more a lifter bends over, the more horizontal their back angle is. The more upright a lifter, the more vertical their back angle is. Your back angle, how upright or bent over you are, is going to be determined by a couple of things. Number one, bar placement on your back. When a barbell is placed on top of your traps, this is referred to as a high bar squat. Some people like to put the barbell lower across their upper back, resting the bar on top of the muscle shelf created by a flexed upper back. You'll be able to feel the barbell rest on top of your rear deltoids. This is called a low bar squat. A high bar position on your traps will produce a more vertical back angle than a lower bar position across your upper back, which produces a more horizontal back angle. And number two, your body type. Someone with really long legs probably needs to bend over more than someone with short, stumpy legs. This point should not be overanalyzed. You don't need to measure your body segments or get an x-ray to determine proportions. It's just a way of saying that everyone is built differently, and that means everyone will have a slightly different back angle. So you don't need to worry about following some rule that states your back angle should be at 45 degrees. And it's unnecessary to ask, exactly how much should I bend over? That's going to vary from person to person. The reason back angle is included in my 3 pillars of squat instruction is because I think it's important to maintain your back angle as you stand up. There should be no drastic changes in your back angle during the ascent portion of the squat. If you descend with a vertical torso, stand up with that same vertical torso. If you descend with a more horizontal torso, stand up with that same horizontal torso. Whatever your back angle, try to maintain that same angle throughout the majority of the rep. Try not to get more vertical immediately out of the bottom. And conversely, also more common, try not to get more horizontal immediately out of the bottom. Obviously, you're going to have to change your back angle a little as you descend, and you're going to have to stand upright upon completion of the squat, but your back angle should remain constant throughout the majority of the lift, especially the hard part, aka the sticking point. Balance, range of motion, back angle. Let me answer the question, should I high bar squat or should I low bar squat? It's personal preference. I would decide between high bar or low bar, even front squat position, based on which style allows you to meet my 3 pillars. Which squat style allows you to stay balanced during the movement, which style allows you to reach your established range of motion, and which style allows you to maintain your back angle as you stand up. Beyond that, you can pick high bar or low bar based on your goals. Are you trying to lift maximum weights or compete in a strength sport? If so, which style will help you achieve your goal, or which style helps you do better in your sport? Which style allows you to consistently train the squat? If one style causes issues that prevents you from consistently training the squat, try the other style. As much as I've argued about the pros and cons of each style, I'll admit it doesn't really matter. If it looks like a squat, sounds like a squat, squats like a squat, it's probably a squat. Now that I've explained the 3 criteria for any style of squat, I'm going to teach you how to squat with a barbell, because I like barbells. Step number 1. When teaching someone how to squat, start off by slapping their ass and touching their nipples. Wait, wrong video.
안녕히 계세요, 여러분.
Place your feet about shoulder width apart. Point your toes out a little bit. Place your arms out in front of your body like Frankenstein, across your chest, or down at your sides. Squat down as low as you can while maintaining balance. Start slow, 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. If you feel your weight shift, correct it. Don't be afraid to move your upper body in order to stay balanced. Think about keeping your feet flat throughout the entire movement, heavy through your full foot. You might find that pushing your knees out in the direction of your toes helps clear some space for you to squat down lower. This is the main reason why toes out, knees out is a helpful cue. It clears your thighs out of the way so your torso has room to descend. You can play around with how much toes out, knees out you like. If you have a problem with relaxing or collapsing at the bottom and squatting too deep, you might actually find that toes and knees more forward helps you maintain tightness at the bottom of the squat. At least it does for me. Also, when you're descending, think about bending or breaking at the hips and knees simultaneously. Some finer points. Breathing. Breathing should be done at the top of the movement. Take a big breath, hold it, squat down and up, still holding it, exhale at the top. Breathe and repeat. Holding your breath is a way to keep your midsection tight, braced, and rigid during the movement. Since a lot of squat styles place the weight on your upper body, it's important to keep that segment rigid so that your legs can effectively transfer force from the ground to the weight that's being moved. I like to teach lifters to imagine they were about to be punched in the stomach. Brace your midsection the same way. Adding weight. Once you feel comfortable with your body weight squats, it's time to pick your weapon of choice. Nothing really changes. Inhale, hold your breath, slowly squat down while paying attention to your balance. Assume the correct back angle position on the descent. Squat to your established range of motion. Stand up while maintaining your back angle. Finish the rep by standing upright. Breathe, repeat. You can look up, down, or straight ahead. I would just avoid any extreme positions. Looking up too high might cause your back angle to be a little more vertical than it should be. And looking down might cause your back angle to be a little more horizontal than it should be. This also might make it difficult to keep your upper back tight. Where you decide to point your gaze is going to vary from person to person, but I do think it's important to pick a spot and keep your eyes there throughout the entire rep, entire set. Changing your gaze throughout the rep might cause balance issues and/or inconsistency from rep to rep. If you're learning the squat for the first time and you're looking for a program, check out Barbell Medicine's The Beginner Prescription. There's a free template available on their website, and there's a paid template as well. I do work alongside Barbell Medicine, and I have a discount code. I should mention that this is my video. It does not necessarily reflect the opinions of other Barbell Medicine coaches. They might not agree with everything I said in this video, and if you attend one of our seminars, they might have their own spin on how they teach the squat. So if you interact with them, don't say, "Well, Alan said." That's it. Thanks for watching, and always remember, tread on time.
君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのもっともう戻れなくたって忘れないで何年経っても言えない後悔したって構わない
この番組は最高のコンテンツを作る会社サイゲームスとご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。언제든지 내가 좀 Mac Look at the gold all on my chest Look at the gold call it a flex